Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special episode of the Eye Test, which today is presented by Bank of America, the official bank for the FIFA World Cup 2026. Give it up.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Guys, the final draw for the FIFA World Cup has just taken place, and we're just going to jump into it and give you our immediate hot takes and reactions. Just looking at the draw, who do you think are the happiest teams after today?
It's coming.
You think England are one of the happiest teams after the draw? I don't think that's a great draw for them. Okay, it's not.
Croatia, Panama, and Ghana.
Bro, you could have got
Gimme, bro.
Yeah, by that logic, then any group you could have got is a good one.
Why?
I think of all
We could have got Ecuador. We could have got Senegal.
Right.
We could have got teams like that.
You could have also gone Australia.
So wait, what do you think is a good draw then?
I'll tell you what. I think
That's an easy draw for England.
But
Panama. You're gonna eat them for 6 like they did in the last time.
You could. There's a lot of. You got Jordan, bro. Like you could have.
Yeah, but you're saying.
Like there's a lot of. It's like.
Yeah,
I
but
don't say easy teams,
you're saying the way it's formationed, right?
Yeah.
Those 3 teams, England.
I don't think that's an easy group.
I think that's an easy group.
That's an average group for me.
Very easy group.
I don't think so. Okay, fair enough.
For England.
Can I tell you who I think are the?
What do you think
the
is
3 happiest teams are the host nations?
Really?
Yes, I'll tell you why.
Why is that?
They all avoided a big superpower, and granted, it's because
they're not superpowers.
Yeah, but my point is they're not playing at Germany. They're not playing. And in fact, I think they all avoided Senegal. They all avoided Morocco, which I would consider the best pot 2 teams. I actually think when you look at their groups, they'll look. So Mexico, for example, are playing South Korea, South Africa, and then a European playoff winner, which consists of Denmark, Macedonia. To be honest with you, I look at those teams, and I don't think Mexico should look at any of them and be afraid of anybody. I don't think in fact, I think they could look at it and top the group. And when I look at Canada and the U.S., they got the likes of Qatar. I think they're pretty straightforward groups for them, man.
Those teams, it's good for them to get those teams that you avoid the bigger teams.
But that's why for me they're happy.
But those teams, the other teams will be looking at them and thinking they can get results from there.
Sure.
Panama ain't looking at England and thinking we're gonna beat.
They're just happy to be here.
Ghana and this Croatia,
Croatia have been semifinals the last 2 tournaments, huh?
Not this time.
No. You guys have to prove to Croatia that they can do something.
Not this time. Remember, we got them down in the Euros. Don't forget that. Got them
Euro
down
time,
on them.
man.
And Calvin, was it Calvin Phillips ran them down? You know what he did to Luka Modric
That's
that
not long
game.
ago, man.
Yeah.
Luka Modric, he took an elixir of life since then, bro. He's balling out in Italy right now.
No, but you know what it is? I think don't get me wrong. These guys will be happy. You know, US, Mexico, Canada, that you avoid a big team, but you kind of were always gonna do that as the host nations. But the thing is, I think like a South Korea are probably thinking, yes, of all the teams we could have got is the US or whoever they got. Who did they get? Mexico.
Yeah, South Korea got Mexico.
Yeah, so Mexico, they're probably thinking, yes, we got Mexico instead of France, you know what I mean? Or England and stuff. So I personally, I get your angle. I 100% get your angle. But I definitely think like an England got lucky. Like it's another one of them draws where you're like, did England get the cold ball or something? Because realistically, that should definitely be at least around a 32. So
you know who else I think can be pretty content with their draw? I think Netherlands as well too. Again, I think when you look, I think Japan is always a tricky team, right?
Yeah.
Japan always do well at World Cups, right?
Might top that group, you know.
Nah, I think the Dutch have a good team, man. I actually like the Dutch going into
I
this
do
World
think
Cup.
that, but they have Ronald Koeman. And
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, Lyés, about Ronald Koeman.
But I think of all the Quad 1 teams, again, when you look at the traditional big European teams, I think they'll look at their group and say, again, we've avoided, like Morocco and Senegal, I think were the teams you wanted to avoid. Norway, again, that's a pot 3 team no one wants to play.
Yeah,
Senegal, no one wants to play them. I think France are probably the least happy. The group of death is France, Norway, Senegal.
Nah, I like that draw, man. I like that. Obviously, there's the Haaland and Mbappe factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, we didn't get to get Ronaldo and Messi at a World Cup at any
Not
stage,
yet.
but we might,
Not
maybe
yet,
this year, but we never got to get it. So this is like kind of the modern day, it's not really a rivalry, but you know, people just like to see the guys that are putting the ball in the back of the net at the highest rate against each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. We know there's going to be narratives. I feel like World Cup should be about big names, big stars. It's so good to see Norway there, of course, because it would have been like one of them Gareth Bale moments where it's like, how can he not play in a tournament? But Haaland rose up just the same way like Gareth Bale did. So I'm excited to see that one. But also like Senegal. I think Senegal are a sleeper for this tournament. You know, Senegal could go far in this tournament. We'll see how they do in the AFCON. But this Senegal team with Ismaila Sarr, Mane, Diouf, and Njai, bro,
Habib Diarra,
Kamara in midfield. There's so many names
Koulibaly
that they have. Koulibaly, they have so many names, and they're actually putting something together. And
I think they were unbeaten in about 30 games until they played Brazil recently. They're going into the AFCON in red hot form. And I agree with you,
And
man.
there's Senegalese people in France as well. You know, there's a lot of
Yeah.
Senegalese people in France. So little francophone derby there as well.
2002, man. I mean, this is a
Yes.
big game for Senegal as well, too.
Mhm.
The most historic game in their World Cup history came against France when
Yep.
France were holders. They were champions, and they came into it first group stage.
Yeah.
What was it El Hadj Diouf, I think it was.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
them out of there, man. Yeah, so that's a big
Yeah.
one as well, too. So I think, if we're predicting here that group, let's say France wins the group. Maybe they have a little too much firepower. Unfortunately for Iraq or Suriname,
Yeah.
they get out of here as well, too. Second and third. I mean, both of them could end up qualifying with the new rules, but who do you favor in a game like that?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Senegal.
Is it?
But yo, let's not sleep. Erling Haaland can end this group stage with like 6 goals in 3 games, bro. He's that type of guy. So with that type of firepower, they always got a chance. But I think just as a collective unit and what Senegal have going on at the moment, I fancy Senegal to be the ones to come second. Now, I even think they're gonna give France a tough game, but probably France will edge it.
I feel like they're that team in the World Cups, man. They have the best players, they have the best team, and they have the highest expectation.
Yeah.
And they just unimpressed, but win games
All
the way to the semifinals minimum.
Every single
so
time.
So we're going to look at that Senegal. Oh, they could give them a fright. France 1-0.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a good group, man. Honestly, I think France will definitely be tested early on. And to be honest, it could suit them because going to the tournament, they'll already be battle tested as early favorites. Let's go back to the host nations for a little bit because obviously they got home advantage, which should be huge for them. I think only 2 countries have ever not qualified for the groups as being a host. I think it was Qatar and South Africa. But Mexico, they have South Africa, they got Korea Republic, they got the winner of Denmark, Macedonia, Czech Republic, and Republic of Ireland. How do we see that group kind of panning out? Does Mexico's home support kind of carry them over the line, or it's not the same Mexico team as the 2000s? Call it what it is.
You know what? I think it will. I think host nation tax is going to push them. I think with what they've got going on, we know Mexicans are passionate about football as well. They're going to bring the energy, not even only in the stadium, outside the stadium. It's going to be insane in Mexico. So I actually think Mexico will go through in that group.
Yeah, group's really interesting. First and foremost, I think it's so beautiful that the first game of this World Cup, Mexico, South Africa, throw it back to 16 years ago, Shabalala, goal for Africa, goal of Africa. That's one of the most iconic World Cups and one of the most iconic World Cup moments.
Yeah.
The 2 teams meet again 16 years later on opening day. And Mexico, South Korea, I just found this out. Heung-min Son is actually something of a cult hero in Mexico, because 2018 World Cup, he scored a last 96-minute winner against Germany to knock them out and send Mexico to the next round. And bro, apparently in 2018, they raided the Korean Republic embassy in Mexico to go celebrate.
Oh my god.
So he's a hero. Mad. Maybe the European teams though, Denmark, Macedonia, Czech Republic, Republic of Ireland, I mean, they're going to have something to say about it. But you think Mexico go through, and then between the rest of them, how do you think that group kind of lines up?
What was the other team? 3 teams other than Mexico?
South Africa, Korea Republic, and then one of the European sides you just named.
I think...
I rate South Africa,
I think South Africa had a really good qualifying. I think South Africa are going to do well. I think they'll qualify.
But Korea always do well at these World Cups,
I was about to say Korea and the European one. Because I don't 100% know the European team that are going to qualify. Did you say Italy in there?
No.
No, you said Ireland, Republic of Ireland.
Denmark, Macedonia, and Czech Republic.
Nah, I fancy Korea.
I fancy so as well, too.
Yeah. I fancy Korea. So as well. I think South Africa and Korea go through.
What about Canada's group? Boys. We got a pretty good group, man. Qatar, obviously the host of the last World Cup, didn't do as well as they wanted, but since then I think Qatar have actually improved. They won. I think they won the Asian Cup in that period as well too. Switzerland, which I have to say, they're always a team in World Cups that they're a problem, man. They're a big problem. They have experience. Granit Xhaka has played at so many of these. Shaqiri all of a sudden rolls back the years every time he plays in one of them. And then potentially Italy as well too, but to give credit to the other teams as well. Northern Ireland, Wales, Bosnia.
Knowing Italy, they won't even get through that anyway.
I'm going to give Italy the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah? You think
maybe I'm going to get scarred here, but I have to believe Italy don't miss 3 World Cups in a row.
Yeah.
Let's say Italy qualify for that. Italy, Canada, Austria, Switzerland, and Qatar.
I fancy Switzerland to top the group.
Is it?
Yes, I fancy Switzerland to top the group. Even if Italy get there, I fancy Switzerland because, as you said, they just got this know-how. They find a way to always, get through.
They beat Italy at the last Euros, to be fair.
There we go. Yeah, I fancy Switzerland to top the group. Now, again, you're talking about host nations and stuff. I'm not going to give it as much as a push as I'm giving Mexico.
I actually think Canada right now are better than Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, Canada. Canada.
But it's all about the group.
Last Copa America, we went to semifinals.
Fairs.
Since Jesse Marsch took over this group, bro, Canada have actually been flying. And out of the 3 hosts, I think they maybe entered this World Cup in the best form.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, the US definitely.
But I actually think even Mexico. And here's the thing you got to going back to Mexico. Mexico had the most passionate fans.
Yeah.
But you know they're fans as well too when shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Hey, we're just happy to be here.
Yeah.
We're gonna be supporting these boys no matter what.
One thing I will say is US better not let the Canadians.
We'll talk about the US in a minute. We'll talk about
the Canadians.
No, they better not let the Canadians
go further.
Led by an American, by the way, right? The best American coaches Canada.
Go further.
I think we're going through, man. You know what it is? You know me with club football.
Or you just think you're
Hold
going
on
for a second.
Just to be there. You know what it is with club football? You know me, man. Man United, I'm a pessimist, bro.
Yeah.
Whatever I expect the worst, I expect the worst. When it comes to international football, bro, you know I actually ride for my team.
Yeah, bro, you see me, bro. I
ride for my teams, 100%. Man. So if it's a lie,
we
fight on that lie, man. Canada are going to the next round, man. Canada are going to the next round.
Fair.
I got Canada, but I hear it's a tough group. I think Qatar, respectfully, I'm going to have the bottom of that group. I can hear Switzerland topping it. Maybe we come third. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But then the U.S., I think this is the one of the most interesting teams at this entire tournament. Because this World Cup, Cam, growing up as someone who grew up in the U.S. the last however many years of my life, this World Cup, since we got it given to us, and again, I'm going to switch now us.
Three different teams.
Algeria, USA, Canada. I'm here. That's my three. I'm putting it out there.
Goodness me.
Oh, we're going to be Nigeria and England.
Nigeria ain't playing, bro. We ain't there.
If you had been there, well, you're not supporting both of them.
That's two, not three.
Well,
you know, there's something about three.
Cultural.
There's something about three that's a little bit more than two.
But the U.S., I actually think one of the most interesting teams at this tournament. There's been so much hype and intrigue built around this tournament since it got announced that it was going to be in the U.S. And I think a lot of people were excited for a long time, especially when Pochettino was announced as the coach. Big international coach of pedigree, taking over the U.S. Could he take them to the next level? But it hasn't worked out that way, man. The U.S. have struggled under Pochettino. Yep. They've struggled at tournaments, and they have such a big disconnect between ex-players, fans, and current players as well, too. Pulisic pulling out of international friendlies, ex-players like Landon Donovan firing at him saying, I would never have done that. It's a really weird time to be a U.S. men's national team fan. My hope, right, is that when the tournament kicks off, when that first ball is kicked, the last 4 or 5 years of disarray can go out the window. The players can look at the situation. They're playing a home tournament on home soil. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. There are good players on the U.S. They have a talented team. We're saying they're going to the tournament the worst form out of the three, but they also probably have the most talent on their team out of the three. I'm just hoping that when the ball is kicked, they can just kind of lock in and say, let's take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, I think it's just been a disappointing tenure. Yeah, to a point that, as you said, bro, there was calls for him to be sacked, Pochettino. I think the tenure has been disappointing.
It has, 100.
Yeah, but as you said, it's a World Cup and it's a home nation. Anything can happen. And I think America, especially, let me say the US, especially the pressure that they're going to be under, I think is going to be more than Canada. It's going to be more 100%. Than Mexico, because one, you can't have Canada going further than you guys and you guys getting grouped. And two, this is a chance to inspire. This is a chance to make football a bigger thing in the US.
100%.
And the US are so proud. US don't do participation awards, bro. Maybe they'll have to accept it a little bit in football.
They're gonna win it,
but they're not gonna win it. But they don't do participation awards in any sport. You see in the Olympics, bro. These guys get bronze, they don't celebrate. Other guys get bronze and they're doing backflips. Do you get where I'm coming from? So I would say the US have a lot of pressure on them. And Pochettino, mate, you don't get through the group, you might be a wanted man, bro.
Yeah.
You will be a wanted man.
I think his reputation in football is tarnished forever, bro. 100%. Already, the last few jobs he's taken,
it's shaky.
It hasn't done well for his reputation. This is a really big thing. Coaching a host nation at home.
Yeah.
But I hear your point. That's actually a really good point. I actually think the future of U.S. football, U.S. soccer, if you want to call it that, hinges a lot on this tournament, because we've seen with other tournaments, man, having a successful host nation at a tournament can spark a revolution, bro. It can grow the sport. Kids are watching in their backyard Messi and Ronaldo. All of a sudden, people become more and more interested in the sport. You don't know where the sport could go in 20 years because of this.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, bro, if the U.S. flop at this tournament, you're holding this country back. You're taking us back 20 years, man.
It's why I wanted the US to get a big team in the pot too, because imagine if Pulisic scores the winner against a big nation.
You remember 2014 when the US had Germany, Portugal, and Ghana. The group of death, and actually came out of that group. But I remember being in the US. Obviously, I'm a fan anyway, so I watch whatever. But a lot of people were watching football for the first time and getting to see them against Germany and Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo. I remember kids at my school who never watched football ever are talking about, yo, you see the US against Ronaldo the other day?
Yeah,
you drew against them? All of a sudden, bro, there became a buzz. It becomes infectious. But if you really flop at this tournament, bro, you are going to kill the direction of the sport for a while, man.
Facts.
So, good point. USA, Mexico, Canada. We'll be keeping an eye out for them for sure.
So the final draw is set. What do you think are the top 5 fixtures in the group stage? Or the ones that you're looking out for the most?
I think Mexico, South Africa is the first one I'm looking at.
Okay.
First game of the World
game.
Cup. That's the one we're gonna watch. Where everyone's gonna be watching it, right?
Yeah.
You want to see the presentation. You want to see the dancing. I'm sure you're gonna have a singer out there. The World Cup trophy in front of everybody. And again, just the nostalgia of South Africa versus Mexico. Who's gonna give you that moment? I can name you Torsten Frings for Germany, first game of 2006. Shabalala, like what was in 2014? Neymar on opening day. This feels like a big occasion. So Mexico, South Africa is the first one I'm looking for. What about you?
I'm looking at England, Ghana. You know, I think.
Why are you looking at it in particular?
I'm telling you, listen, I have reasons. You know what I'm trying to say?
Tell me them.
Listen, Nigeria ain't at that tournament right now. You know what I mean? So I need big bros to come and do the job for us. You know what I mean?
Bros is crazy.
England have to do it, man. They have to come and step on Ghana for us. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, you know, there's a huge population of Ghanaians in the UK as well, especially in London. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Listen, the streets of London is going to be absolutely lit when Ghana and England are playing, man. I'm thinking about North London in particular, where most Ghanaians are at. North London's gonna be jumping, man. Tottenham, Edmonton, all them areas. Yo, it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna be watching that game with fufu in my hands. Yeah, 1-0, Jude Bellingham. 2-0, Harry Kane. I'm going to be watching that, enjoying. So I'm looking forward to that game in particular.
Brazil, Morocco. That's a good one. You got Brazil versus
the Brazilians,
North African
Africa.
Brazilians. The Spider-Man meme. No, I think it's going to be a really good one, man. I think this is going to be a huge test as well, too, for Carlo Ancelotti. Is it opening day, Brazil versus Morocco? It might actually be. This might be the very first game of this group. And the first game tends to set the tone for these things, right? So I think we talk about pressure on nations. We talked about the U.S. Is there a country with more pressure on them every time they step on the international stage than Brazil?
No, probably not.
24 years of hurt, 24 years of pain. Like, Brazil used to go into these tournaments feeling that they had a God-given right to win it. And now they're just trying to bring some respect and pride back to it. And I think all the eyes are going to be watching Brazil, whether Neymar is there or not, whether Vini is leading the line or not. What kind of World Cup are you going to give us? And I think we're going to tell a lot from it based on how they play against Morocco.
I don't think there's any team that get the feeling of disappointment as much as Brazil when they go out.
It feels like the world's falling. Bro.
Yeah, it's because, you know what, it's even Brazil were that team that even when you're not Brazilian, you supported Brazil, right? Everybody just, their second team were Brazil. In fact, some people's first teams were Brazil other than over their own nation. That's how much, you know, with the Ronaldinhos, R9s and stuff. Everybody loved them so much. So anytime, like for example, if England go out, it's like, okay, England out, it happens again. Or Portugal go out, it happens again. But when Brazil go out, you just end up in a whole like trail of nostalgia. Like this generation, they're not R9, they're not Ronaldinho because they were once greats. It's like the Manchester United effect when we, you know, Man United are not in the Champions League. We start looking back at the Ronaldo clips and then Rooney clips, and that's where it is with Brazil. When they go out, the sense of disappointment is bigger than any other nation, man, because they captured everyone's heart. So the disappointment is absolutely massive. And then the Vinnies, Rodrigos, Cunha, João Pedro, all these guys, they're going to be getting looked at in disgust if they go out because they're not the guys of the past.
But at the same time, too, good World Cup for Brazil, and these guys can become heroes overnight, man. Seriously.
100%. You know what? Yeah, like, we got to talk about it, though. Like, I mean, people talking about Brazil, like, Vinny, these guys. I want to see a tournament from you, bro. I want to really, really see a tournament. So we'll talk about that, I'm sure, closer to the time. But I've got another game. I'm looking forward to...
Norway, France.
What was that?
Norway, France.
Yes, that's it. But a game that I'm looking forward to is Norway v France. And you know why. As I say all the time, a World Cup should be about the big names, should be about the superstars. I don't want to go into a World Cup, and we're talking about the tactic and this and the way this guy inverted and in the triangles and the diagrams. No, I want to see Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland. I want superstars playing against each other every tournament. I want a James Rodriguez moment. I want a, Messi moment. I care about the big names or even names that are rising stars. It's all about the individuals for me at a World Cup. And you've got two of the best in the world. I think the best number 9 in the world in Erling Haaland, and you can argue the best player in the world in Kylian Mbappe. This is what it's all about. And for the new generation, I'm talking the 9-year-olds, the 10-year-olds, the 11-year-olds. This is their Messi v Ronaldo.
Yeah. We never got that.
We never got that. This is their Messi v Ronaldo. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, the narratives before that. Now, will the game pan out like how we expect? Yeah. 3 from Haaland, 3 from Kylian Mbappe? Yeah. Probably not, right? But in terms of the narrative building up to the game and stuff, and the content that's going to be going out there, the stats of both of them, Haaland has scored this many goals in this many games, Mbappe, their trophies, it's going to be great, man. It's going to be, I'm looking forward to that. What's your last one?
The game I am looking forward to watching the most is a game that probably no one even cares about. It's the last game you'd even think about. But I'm going to tell you why it means so much to me. Algeria versus Austria. Now, on paper, you would ask, why does this game matter? A North African team versus a team from Europe. They never play each other. They haven't played each other for so many. Who cares? This is personal for me. I'm not going to lie. 1982. If you ask any Algerian about 1982, they'll just roll their eyes. This was the biggest robbery in World Cup history, and it caused a massive rule change for every tournament, not even just the World Cup, Champions Leagues, Euros, everything for the rest of time. There's a reason why today, the last day of every single group in any tournament, the games are played at the same time, so that there's nothing fishy that goes on. In 1982, Algeria were in the same group as Austria with West Germany, who actually went to the final that year, and Chile. We beat West Germany on the first day. Huge shock, one of the biggest shocks in World Cup history, actually, before losing to Austria in the second game. And on the third day, we beat Chile before those two would end up playing. We had done enough, basically, to give us a really good chance at the World Cup. But Germany and Austria at that point, we know there's relations going on from the past. We won't even speak about that, but they're still in cahoots, man. They knew, and there was an agreement, that if West Germany won that game 1-0, Austria and West Germany would advance, and Algeria wouldn't. West Germany scored in the first 10 minutes of that game. The rest of the game, it's on YouTube, you can go and watch it, is played in Germany's half as they pass side to side, and Austria sits in their half watching the game. Fans in the stadium threw paper on the pitch. The commentators refused to commentate at a certain point. The papers in the news the next day lambasted it as the biggest disgrace ever. And to this day, it's known as the disgrace of Gijón. Algerians are not over that game. We played Germany in 2014 a few years back, and for us, that was the biggest game of our life. But everyone's forgot about Austria, man. Everyone talks about Germany as Algeria's biggest rivals. Austria, I haven't forgot. And this World Cup, Cam, we played them on the last day of our group, after we've already played Argentina and Jordan. This game could actually decide which of these two teams goes to the next round.
Lastly, let's talk about who we think is going to win the tournament. Right? Who's going to shine the brightest Who's going to shine the brightest? Who have you got as the winners of this tournament?
Look, I think there's 4 teams above all that really come into this tournament with huge expectation and big pressure as the favorites. I think those teams are Argentina, the holders. Okay. Spain, the Euro winners. France, the back-to-back finalists. And England, the perennial almost guys. I think with all 4 of those countries, they all have a great case of doing it. Argentina have experience, but I just think it's so difficult to win back-to-back World Cups. It hasn't happened since 1958, 1962. So for that reason, I think Messi's last World Cup, I actually think he should have left it after the last one. Really? Go out on top. Personally. Obviously, it's his career. But I think it would have been so perfect if he said, that's it, I'm out on top. France, I don't see it in Deschamps' last World Cup. I think they have the best team on paper, but I never really feel with France that as far as they go, I feel like a lack of real cohesion between the team ends up costing them. And England, it's England, man. You just never do it. I'm looking at Spain, man. I'm looking at the youth. I'm looking at the talent. I'm looking at the experience of just winning. And I'm looking at that boy, Lamine Yamal. For me, the best player in the world. His first World Cup. A lot of eyes are going to be on him. Imagine he caps. His career has been perfect to date, right? It's like storybook stuff. Yeah. Imagine he wins his first World Cup at what is it, 19 years old? It'll be, or 18 or 19.
Yeah. He'll be 18 years old. By the end of the tournament, he'll be 19. Yeah. That'll be incredible.
I got Spain, man.
I know I'm going to back that. I'm going to say Spain as well. I just like the way Spain look. Again, they had a hiccup with Portugal beating them in the Nations League final. Yeah. But I think they learned from that. In the real tournament, they won the Euros, you know what I'm trying to say. And they're walking in as the Euro winners. And as you said, Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams is a completely different player when he puts on a Spain jersey. International player. Yeah. Pedri, of course. It's Pedri, he wasn't even there for the Euros. Pedri's going to be there. People like Fabian Ruiz, you can never sleep on them. Dani Olmo. these guys just pop up with goals when you need them to pop up with. And then you obviously got Zubimendi. We'll see what happens with Rodri if he comes back to make that tournament. I think he will. I think now he's got to start looking at that.
I think the one thing
with
with Spain I'm looking at is the goalkeeper situation and defense. I think Unai Simon, there's a big question mark because his form for Spain is usually decent, but his form for club has been shaky. And now he's got David Raya and John Garcia, who at club level are knocking on the door.
That's an incredible option.
But for De La Fuente, that's a big decision. Do you stick with the guy that so far has been decent for you, or do you look at the two guys who at club level are maybe the best in the world? At left back, there's the Balde Cucurella conversation. He's gone with Cucurella and it's worked well. I mean, right back, Carvajal, what kind of fitness will he be in entering the tournament? So I think and then defensively, right? Last tournament, I think it was Laporte and Pau Torres. But now, since then, Huijsen has emerged onto the scene. Kubarsi's having a difficult moment right now, but is he a potential guy? I think there's another one I'm even forgetting about. But the center back situation, I think from that angle, I look at Spain, I'm like, ooh, are there maybe question marks there? But further up the pitch, I mean, the names just roll off the tongue.
Yeah, I mean, and then they got the greatest 9 in the history of football right now, innit? Mikel Moreno, right? So we're looking forward to seeing that as well. But no, I think Spain, but I know there's never been a back-to-back. Well, there has been back-to-backs, but not in a long time. But that Argentina team are still a good team, man. They're still a good team. Messi is flirting with the idea of not going to this tournament. I don't know if you keep seeing his interviews, but he keeps saying, I might not. We'll see.
If I get there.
We'll see. I'm like, brother, why are you acting like they're not going to pick you?
You shook Algeria.
Yeah.
You got you shook like that, man, huh?
He wants to, obviously, maybe he's considering, I don't know, man. There's no way he's retiring. There's no way. And Messi, who currently plays in the MLS, imagine him not being at the tournament. I still think Argentina have a chance, and I have my final as Argentina and Spain.
Is that possible?
It is possible. Yes, it is possible. So there's a possibility.
You have Argentina playing Portugal en route to that.
I mean, if Portugal do it, I think Argentina are going to be there. Portugal, please be there.
If Argentina and Spain is the final, and the World Cup is Messi versus Yamal, that's the ultimate story.
That's
ending.
That's like everything. And in that baby picture, good or bad, like whether it's Messi saying, "Hey, you're never gonna be me," or it's your mom saying,
like, "I'll see you in a few years, man.
I can't wait to be king."
One thing I will say though, right? They're all great predictions. On paper, they make sense. This is the World Cup.
It's the World Cup.
So everything we've just said in this 40-minute video,
100%.
Germany are winning this.
Yeah,
the Dutch are going to the final. That's what it is, man.
I mean, but look, there's so many teams, man. I know we talk about England as, got teams that might not win it. But you look at teams like Portugal. You look at Portugal's midfield, man.
Talk about the last dance for them.
Vitinha, Neves, Ruben Neves, Bruno. Bro, it's an incredible team that they have as well. Nuno Mendes at left back. Man, but listen, we're going to talk another time about individual players who I'm looking at this tournament. But that'll be another episode, man. We'll be here forever if I start getting on that one.
Guys, that's going to be a wrap for this very special episode of the Eye Test. A final shout out to Bank of America, the official bank for the FIFA World Cup 26, for presenting this episode. We've been Lyés and Cam with BR Football. Have a good one, people.
Peace.